G'day, I'm Moto Steve and this is Moto News. So, the 2019 EICMA show is all wrapped up, finished up yesterday depending on your time zone, and we're going to run through everything that happened at the show. Well, everything we can fit into this video that I didn't forget in writing this script, but you get the picture. So, first team we're going to talk about is going to be Team Orange, KTM. They released the new Superduke 1290, that's a 1290cc V-twin. Looks like that, pretty cool. They also released the new Duke 390 Adventure. They're still releasing the current Duke 390, that's just an updated version that is taller and sort of more dual sport oriented. Their sister company, Husqvarna, have released the Norden 901, which is based off the Duke 790, which is why it gets noted next, but again, here's what it looks like going down the list. Indian have released the FTR Rally 1200. It's basically a dual sport version of the existing FTRs, but hey, 1200cc, kind of cool looking bike. And Ducatti have released the Scrambler X. So, as we can see, the list is kind of growing right here. And not to be left out, of course, Harley Davidson have released the Bronx and the Pan America. I bet you're wondering if it was all just dual sports happening at this show, but no, there was way more to it. So, in other news, Honda gone way out on a stretch for themselves. They released an update to the CBR 1000RR and they've called it the CBR 1000RR. Super inventive there, but why change a winning formula? Just keep adding R's until we run out of alphabet, I guess. Now, that thing is still 1000cc, obviously the name gives that away, but they're tipping, along with a stack of electronics being thrown into it, that it could break the 200 horsepower mark for a 1000cc bike, which would be awesome. Anyone who's had a CBR in the past will probably be keen to see this one in action. Another bike worthy of mention, the new Aston Martin AMB 001. As I say that, I'm pretty sure it's not really all that worthy of mention. This is a $120,000 bike, the first of its kind from Aston Martin. The only core issue, I guess, with it would be the fact that you can't register it on the road. It's track only, so $120,000 and you can't take it on the road. Lastly though, not quite Team Green, but Kawasaki's sub-company, Bimota, they're owned by Kawasaki, have released the Tesi H2, or a concept of the Tesi H2. Looks like this. It's really cool. It's got a front swing arm, so instead of having forks going down, it's got swing arm going forwards. On top of that, it's got the motor out of the H2R in it, so that's a 998cc supercharged, near on 300 brake horsepower motor. It's tipped to go into it, so falls under the category of hyperbike, which is don't get to say that too often, so that's going to be pretty cool. For those of you who like to get around on bikes that don't burn dinosaur bones just to do so, in electric news, there have been quite a few announcements coming up. So, the first one, of course, the Verge TS, this Tron-looking rear-wheel bike. Puts down 1,000 newton meters, has a 300-kilometer range, looks awesome. Haven't actually seen one going before, so I think they're tipped to release 2021, so we'll keep you guys updated if and when they hit the actual showroom floors. The other notable electric that's come out, the Vogue ER10. So this thing, they're tipping it as a 250cc killer. It's got over 100 kilometers an hour top speed and 100 kilometers range, all from, I think, a 5 kilowatt. Don't quote me on the motor, I'll look it up later and put it in somewhere. Other notable mentions, well, these ones are pretty weird. A company called Kalk released the Kalk and, that's just one bike, the Kalk and is the name. Looks like this, looks really cool, sort of dirt bikey, mountain bikey themed. Downside is it doesn't quite have a massive range and it doesn't have a high top speed, so that's what it is. They also released the OSA, which is a modular motorbike, electric cycle, scooter. I don't really see what's so modular about it other than putting a rack on the front or rear, or different racks on the front or rear, but we'll see. If I see one of these parked somewhere, I might have to ask someone about it, but that's probably about the extent that I'm going to go to with explaining that one. And that is pretty much everything that happened at the show. There's probably a few that I missed. If there's anything you did want me to mention, make sure you drop it in the comments below and I'll get to that one. I will be back on Wednesday, so make sure you do all the things if you want to hear from me again on Wednesday. And that's probably about it, so make sure if you're going to, speed safely, and I will catch you in the next one.